Hello, my friends. We just got done backpacking rim to rim of the Grand Canyon. We wrote down 7 tips for you we'd like to share with you.
And he'll probably add a few more.
That's a good chance.
Guarantee you. So number one, plan a way back if you're doing a rim to rim, north to south or south to north. That seems intuitive, but we ran into people that didn't.
Yeah, and everybody we ran into, they were on the shuttle. The shuttle was full, so maybe there were people that didn't plan. Just there was no tickets available or no, I don't know, you call it ticket, but there wasn't a spot left for them.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty. I don't know what you do when you show up on the south rim and don't have a way back to the north rim. It's a 4-hour shuttle ride. It's not close.
Yeah.
So that.
And that's something that we booked ahead of time. We used Trans Canyon Shuttle. I don't know if there's other kinds. There probably are. That's the one that we used, and we were happy with.
Yeah, it's fine. Hitchhiking can be dangerous.
Number two.
Dose. At the beginning of the trail, you'll see, and throughout the trail as well, you'll see signs about different locations for water. And they'll say on, off, on. They'll tell you which water locations are working.
Our tips you don't need to carry all the water. Don't carry too much water.
Yeah, she was able to carry 3 liters of water. Sometimes I carried up to 4. We didn't do that. We only did that once.
Yeah.
Because in 3 miles, we're filling up again.
As long as the water stations are on, which you can call ahead even to ask.
Oh, you can call ahead.
They're usually pretty busy though. The phone line, whenever we tried to call, was busy. But it says at the ranger stations if they're on, and also like at each campground, if you're staying down there, it'll tell you which one.
They have a big map, and then on the side of it, another thing.
So before you leave, you can check to see if each stop. So there's the map that you can download, and it'll tell you where the stops are. So you can maybe go 1.5 miles in between each water station if they're all on. So we were just using our water bottles to fill up during the short stretches.
Yep, and left our bladders.
Bladders. These bladders weren't empty. We stopped a lot.
And we started the trail hydrated.
Yeah, too hydrated because we had to use the toilets. There are toilets, which is nice.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Real quick on the water thing. It's lightweight, and it could be a big deal. A little water filter, like
bring a backup.
That's a good deal. A lot of it, you're near a water source. The most on the last day of the hike out, I think it was relatively a dry hike out. There's not much water.
Yeah,
but
at the Bright Angel
all the way down and then the way more about the way at the bottom. There's a lot of streams and stuff, and it could really save you in a bind. Number 3.
Train for it.
Got it.
I know it's obvious, but
you don't get muscles like these without training.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it wasn't the most fun training thing we've ever done.
But it's not just about because one of the things at first we started really focusing on our legs and doing stair stepper and all that. But then we're like, no, we need to get used to carrying the backpacks again. And so we did some hikes where we put a hammer.
We were putting just weight in our backpacks because we didn't feel like actually packing in correctly.
Yeah. So train with the backpack to do that. And if you can, in the heat, because the bottom of the canyon is hotter regardless of what season it is.
So I found the most difficult part of the hike to be on our first day when we did 14 miles. The last 7 miles was flat and hot. That to me was the most difficult part. Hiking out was not that.
It was not shaded. Yeah. That part that you're talking
Very little.
about.
Even although we're in the heat of the day, and that's like we live in Kansas. We don't have hills to go climb and all this training. We train on the flat surface in the heat, and I think our training really paid off on that because it was hard, and that was the hardest part for me. But I imagine it would have been a lot more difficult if we hadn't done, 3 or 4 hikes with our packs on, weighted packs on, and done 6 or 7 miles those days. They weren't that fun. They were kind of boring.
Very
but
boring.
We got to test some equipment. We tested some different foods out as well on our training. So it worked out well. And I think that a little bit of discomfort before the trip can definitely make the trip more enjoyable. Tip number 4. Bring your hiking poles.
We used it downhill and uphill. And it seems a little obvious, but man, it saved us from falls.
Yeah.
Didn't it?
You think of like uphill, helping pull myself, and we did a
little
bit of that.
But we used it a lot for the downhill as much, I think.
Yeah.
I think that one saved our butts.
Yeah. Several
Literally.
times. several times you step on a rock and it moves or something,
Yeah.
and if you have another point of contact with the ground, I think I would have fallen at least twice.
I know
I know
I
you
would have.
stumbled a couple times. We didn't fall because we have extra
Yeah.
ability to juggle ourselves.
For that hike, don't leave it at home.
We did meet a woman at the bottom of the Grand Canyon who was hobbling. She hurt her hip
Yeah.
from the fall.
Yeah. Now
Good
she was
luck.
using her pole as a cane.
Good
So I don't know
luck.
if she was using it when she fell.
We talked
It's
about
possible.
like, can you get a donkey ride back up? And the ranger was like, the donkey ride might be a terrible idea because you have to
For your
sit on
head.
a donkey the whole time. So
No, mule.
mule, yes.
Whatever.
Whoops.
Yeah. I'm glad we corrected.
Oh, how embarrassing.
Number 5 is Phantom Ranch. Utilize them for food if you can. So we booked this well ahead of time, so I don't know how early you have to actually book it. But they only have limited seats. So we booked the steak dinner, which was good.
And they also have a vegan chili.
They also had a vegan chili, which would have been a little later. So if that time works better for you. And then also you have the option of packing a sack lunch. And then we also bought the breakfast the next day, which was heavy in your belly.
Wonderful.
When you're hiking. I mean, it was
yeah.
really good at the time. We pigged out. But it was kind of heavy to hike with. But I think it's still worth it anyway. So for the sack lunch, Byron, you had a comment about that, I'm sure.
Yeah, they handed you this. So we're backpackers. Like the day before, we had dry oatmeal. We added water to super lightweight. Like it didn't add anything really to our pack. They handed us like a 2-pound bag of food.
It seemed so heavy, and we were like, man, I could have brought lighter than this for my lunch. But it was a nice change up to what we had brought. And also, we were only carrying it from morning till lunch.
Yeah. So you have to consider, I don't think it was cheap either, but it wasn't too crazy.
It was like 10 or 20 bucks.
Was it really?
Yeah.
But it's, you carry that lunch, that meal, all the way down and all the way across to lunch the next day, or you carry a little bit heavier lunch, like significantly heavier, a short distance.
And I should say Phantom Ranch, that's the place where it also has a lodge, and it's at the bottom of the canyon.
Yeah. Another tip, take some time, write a little postcard, mail it to somebody you love.
Yeah, they carry it up in mules, and it says a stamp there.
Cameras.
Number 6. Hike early. So the reason why we had plenty of time during ours to hike, but on the 3rd day, we wanted to beat the heat, the sun, which is why we started when it was still dark. And it's actually kind of fun to do that with your light. It was kind of neat. I didn't want to miss out on the scenery, but it got bright early. And so we were able to hike in the shade for a couple hours, whereas if we had waited, that would have been all sun on our way out from Indian Gardens to the top of the South Rim. Would have been pretty sunny.
Yeah.
If we had waited. And we hiked for 10 minutes in the dark?
Yeah, it wasn't long. And it's one of those skies where the moon actually matters. Like, the moon's pretty bright up there.
Yeah.
Because everything's so dark, so it actually can affect how you see. Definitely worth getting up early to beat the heat. And we got up really, and we weren't by any means the first ones out of the campsite.
Which reminds me, one of the things that they requested at the campgrounds was to have the red light on your, help me out.
On your headlamp?
On your headlamp. And that would have been nice for the people that were camping next to us that were shining their lights on.
Oh, the battery's out of this one. I was going to show you guys, but I didn't even notice the battery's out of it.
That's a great...
Nailed it.
Yes, you did. Okay. And what's our last thing?
Well, the last one we have here on the board is Plateau Point was worth it.
Yeah. It's an extra 3 miles round trip from Indian Gardens.
But you're not backpacking, you're hiking it, because you've already ditched your stuff, you've made your tent, you've settled in. Do it at sunset.
It's a flat hike.
Basically flat hike.
Yeah. And to see it at sunset, and so hiking back with your lights. But that was actually kind of fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
But it was that's perfect. It was my favorite view of the whole canyon hike.
It is a great view.
That was the best view.
Get there before the sun goes down. Look around, take pictures. You could see the river. The river was awesome. When we got to the bottom, getting off topic of tips.
What do you know?
We the whole time hiking from this north end.
Is this about the tip?
Yeah, this is a total tip.
Don't
swim in the river. It'll kill you. The whole time hiking down, you were by a stream, and you get used to it. You get to the river, and it's a massive, roaring, powerful Colorado River, and then you can't see that from really, like Plateau Point was a great place to the river. Tip on the Plateau Point, enjoy seeing the river. It's beautiful. Like it's what made this thing happen like that. Yeah. So we're not the most experienced backpackers in the world. Maybe third or fourth. But this was the first time where we did 2 nights in a row out on the trail.
Which is why we brought sleeping pills.
Kind of a cheat. So
we slept.
Our little mattresses aren't going to cut it compared to our really nice foam mattress we have, at the house. We're used to that though, and so I do think the Unisom or a Tylenol PM before bed really kind of just put us out and made us sleep a little bit better. And let's not forget how horribly sore we were day 2 and 3. And we brought ibuprofen to help. Thank goodness. Yeah. So. Yeah, and it's not like, so sleeping pills, what does that weigh? It's the same as a pebble in your shoe. Like it doesn't weigh anything. And if it gets you a good night's sleep, totally worth it. If you can sleep fine on the ground, then more power to you. But that's something that we would both kind of struggle with, is getting the quality night's sleep. And we don't take those at home, so they hit us pretty hard when we're on the trail. So it's really nice. Good way to do it. I think that wraps up most of our tips.
Other than you should do it. It was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, be on it. Be on it. If you wanted, get down the trail. No, be organized, do your research, and send in your application when they say you can.
For the early consideration, there's a certain point. And it changed from a couple years ago to when we just applied. So who knows if that'll change again, but do your advanced research for that. And then as soon as you find that out, see if you can book the meals at Phantom Ranch if that's something you want to do. It's less food to bring. And then book your shuttle if you're going to do a rim to rim.
So we sent in our itinerary. We sent like in 4 different things. Hey, we would do it this day. We would do it these days. This day is okay as well. All these different options. We looked at different flights and stuff. Yeah. We did it. We mailed it off the first day that we were able. If it was postmarked the 2 days, a day early, it was running away.
Early consideration applications, I think it was called.
We got number 1 choice. Yeah. Like I don't know how close we were to not getting that.
I don't either.
But it's nice to be able to go when you want to go.
It was fun.
And the pace that you want to do.
If you're thinking about it and you're capable, this is the final tip. I'm cutting you off.
But I have one.
No. This is it. Do it if you're capable of doing it. It was wonderful.
Remember to take pictures. That's another tip?
That's no!
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Zoom in, or I'm recording a video. This is how you accidentally record a video in the Grand Canyon.